Welcome to my stream, guys. Nice to see you guys. So today I want to just take it a bit chill. Weekly closure is coming up, so I want to talk about the weekly outlook, and I want to talk a bit about timeframes and how I use timeframes in trading. Then I want to talk about my current positions I'm in. For example, I'm in a Solana long at the moment. I'm going to talk about where I'm going to look to short, where I'm going to look to long, the usual stuff. And if you guys have any questions, just type in chat. All right. What are your thoughts about BingX exchange? I've never heard about it, to be honest. So I don't know. Like the name BingX sounds familiar, but I've never looked at anything. The only exchanges I can recommend are Blofin and Bybit and BitUnix. I think these are the most serious ones. Yo, Kim Possible is here as well. Nice. Alrighty, let's get started. Let's talk about the weekly time frame, because today the weekly is obviously gonna close. And I do think next week is probably gonna be pretty bullish, I would assume. Just because we have Did you guys watch Kim Possible back in the day? It was such a good show. Hi all, I'm quite new. Can anyone recommend a online trade journal I can sync with trades via Blofin? Oof. I actually don't know. Maybe someone in the chat knows. Like, I just journal my trades with Google spreadsheets. I just do it manually. We need Mika certified referral codes for EU users. Yeah, we are in the progress of talking to exchanges. So for Blofin users, nothing should change as far as I'm concerned. So we talked to Blofin, and they said for now it's no problem to stay on the exchange, and they are working to get Mika approved. So Blofin will be compliant with Mika rules. And we are working we are trying to get a referral call with another exchange that is already Mika approved as well. Which ones did you recommend? Yeah, so if you guys are looking for an exchange, I would say probably Blofin is the best for non-KYC users. So if you don't want to verify yourself on an exchange, Blofin is the #1 exchange for that. Other than that, I would recommend Bybit, and after that BitUnix. And yeah, that's my recommendations. Hyperliquid is fine as well, yeah. RSD says he can't hear me. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Try to restart RSD. Okay. So I know Kim Possible has a question for me later. I will get to that as well. I just want to have a look at Bitcoin first. Yeah. So Bitcoin weekly closure is coming up, and in my opinion, it looks pretty good for a bounce. So if you go to the weekly time frame, you can see that we have weekly bullish divergence, right? As shown on the Woodsbot RSI indicator. And so we have weekly bullish divergence, right? This usually leads to at least a bounce. Like here it didn't actually, we had weekly bullish divergence here, but it didn't lead to a bounce. But this time the weekly bullish divergence is coming from the oversold area. So I would assume that there's going to be a bounce. However, Bitcoin is sitting right at resistance. We have this weekly supply zone right here. Right? We have a weekly supply zone, and as long as Bitcoin is in this supply zone, I'm not expecting too much. But as soon as Bitcoin accepts above this supply zone, it can definitely bounce pretty hard. I'm still eyeing this 74k area on Bitcoin as a potential bounce area with the weekly bullish divergence, and we also have decreasing volatility, and decreasing volatility is pretty good for is a pretty good signal for a bounce. So the current trend is to the downside, right? Bitcoin is in a bearish higher time frame downtrend, and whenever volatility is decreasing, price likes to bounce the opposite of the trend if there's decreasing volatility. So if price action is downtrending and then you have decreasing volatility, that usually means that price action is going to bounce to the upside. If price action was in an uptrend and then had decreasing volatility, price action is likely to reject. Now, and then we have additional confluence with the weekly RSI bullish divergence. So it's very likely, in my opinion, that we do bounce here. The question is how high, you know. If we go to the daily time frame, we can clearly see that there is a super pretty nice fair value gap. And if Bitcoin manages to close above like 67k, Bitcoin is very likely going to bounce towards 74k. But for now it is at resistance, and you have to respect the resistance, you know. So yeah, but I do expect a bounce the next week or the week after that, and I expect that bounce to go towards 74k. And then yeah, then I'm gonna look for shorts, for swing shorts, like actually major swing shorts on the market, and potentially then we go to like 50k, 52k, maybe even below 50k. But it's gonna take some time. There's gonna be a lot of chop. I don't think we are gonna see some explosive candles in the near future. But yeah, I do think Bitcoin is ready for a bounce, but it's like it's at resistance, you know, like it's picture perfect at resistance. You have this confluence on right here, right, that already rejected from it once. Then it rejected a second time of it, and yeah, depending on how the daily candle closes, like if it closes above these two highs, I think that's a nice bullish signal for the bounce to continuate. But if it doesn't close above these two highs today, it can definitely chop a bit more, maybe reject again, look for a higher low, maybe around 62k, and then tries for another bounce attempt. So it just depends on how the daily and the weekly closes today. Budget 2. That GIF is kind of making me horny, so I'm not gonna. Oh, I'm gonna disable notifications. so I don't leak any DMs. Yeah, do you guys have any questions for the Bitcoin analysis? Do you guys disagree? Are you agreeing? Are you guys bearish at the moment or bullish? Daddy Trump decides we chop. I mean, yeah, that's fair. I'm fine with price action chopping around and going sideways. I think that's an option as well. Waiting to see USDT. Actually, let me have a look at that. I haven't looked at that for a while. Yeah, I mean, USDT dominance is not looking the best, right? Like it's looking quite bearish from the market structure. Like if USDT dominance closes below these lows, I think Bitcoin can definitely bounce. So this is an additional confluence, but we have to see and wait how the weekly and daily closes with. Like there's potential for both. You have bullish divergence on USDT as well, but you also have bullish divergence on Bitcoin, so it's kind of maybe this is also a signal that we just go sideways and chop around for a while. This can also be the case, but I do think the general direction should be more to the upside. Yeah, I get it. Like I'm not trying to trade as much as I'm not trying to overtrade trade in these conditions, you know. Like I think patience is key at the moment. Like price action is super choppy, and yeah, you just have to be patient. I think until it's more clear. I think just wait until you have like actual good candle closures, you know, above certain highs. Like a candle closure above these highs would be nice. And with USDT dominance, it would be nice if USDT dominance closes below these lows, and if it does, then this is also a signal to go long on. But until either that happens, I'm gonna sit on my hands, and I'm just gonna wait for price action to develop. I think this is what some traders are missing as well. What I was missing in the past is to know when to take it slow, you know. And now is the time to take it a bit more slow when it comes to trading, and wait for your levels to be hit. I still have the same short levels as well, you know, like on Bitcoin, I'm still, if I go to the 12-hour time frame, like I'm still waiting for that sweep to happen, to go potentially short. Like, but it has not happened yet. Maybe it will happen in next week, but I'm still waiting for that to happen, to have some bearish divergence on the lower time frame, and then play the SFP. But so far, price action has been so slow, and my longs haven't been filled as well. If I go to hype, hype actually came super fucking close. Like, look at this shit. It's so close, but it actually made a higher low. Like this was driving me crazy. Like we had this swing low right here, and I was certain that it would get swept, but instead price action made a slightly higher low. So my hype long, or my limit for hype, is probably not gonna get filled. Maybe on Monday when there's gonna be a lot of volatility, as always, but yeah, I just have to be patient. There's no significant market structure change or anything. Poor Dr. Zombie is teasing me with these with these gifs. However, I am in a Solana long at the moment. But what is my entry? Let me see. Yeah, so my entry on Solana was this 4-hour candle right here, because we had so Solana touched the confluence zone on the 4-hour time frame. You can see how there's this 4-hour daily confluence zone, and then it had bullish divergence. So I entered at this 4-hour candle close. So my entry is around, what is it, 76.5. My stop loss is below these lows. And my target is this confluence zone. I was talking to Kim Possible earlier that we So I was talking to Kim Possible in chat earlier. So the limit bot made a trade, it already cancelled it, but it wanted to short basically this level, around 81.1, around this level. And I do like this level for a short. Like if we go to the 12-hour time frame, this would be a, like if Solana is gonna go down more, it's gonna be at this place, you know, because you have this 12-hour supply zone, you have this massive order block section, right? And this is just a massive resistance area, which is why you have the confluence zone as well. So if price action is gonna get to this level, there's definitely potential to short it if there's some lower time frame bearish divergence, etc. So I'm really interested in this short. I don't know why the bot cancelled the limit short. I think it's still a good short area. But I do think obviously price action has to go there first, which is why I'm long as well, because we have this nice 4-hour bullish divergence, and there's definitely potential for Solana if this 4-hour bullish divergence plays out, that it's just gonna be coming into this area, maybe reject the first time, you know, like reject from this area a bit, maybe like 1-2%, and then it accepts above, you know. So this is a potential scenario for me. I do think that you can still short it, but maybe the risk to reward ratio is not as good as I think it might be, because your invalidation would be above these highs, right? And your first target will be this area. So maybe it's not worth to take the short, because the risk to reward ratio is pretty shit. Never gonna be able to speak to me again after the stream. No, don't worry. Can we talk about stop loss placement? Not sure if you went through it last time, didn't get to it yet. With the indicator use, but would be nice to go through that, because I think I said it a bit right. Yeah, we can do that. So when it comes to stop loss on any trade, it really depends on your strategy and how you trade. To keep it really simple, I usually place my stop loss 2 ways. Okay, let me rephrase that. There's 2 different ways to manage your risk on a position. You can either put a hard stop loss somewhere. So a hard stop is just you put your stop loss on a certain level, and if it gets hits, you're getting stopped out of your trade. Or the other way to do it is if you do a manual stop loss, which the manual stop loss is if, for example, price action reaches this level right here, this demand zone, right? And if price action then closes a daily candle closure under this level, then you close your trade manually. So you can place your stop loss with a hard stop loss, or you can close your trades manually. I place a hard stop loss because I don't want to spend too much time with trading, because I have other stuff to do. And I use market structure and confluence zones as my invalidation. So as an example, let's take this one here. So I'm in a long position on Solana, right? I'm in a long position on Solana. This is my entry. And then if you go to the higher time frame, you have two options. You can either use this demand zone as your stop loss, in my opinion. So you would place your stop loss right there, and your target can be this. Or you do what I did, which was placing your stop loss below this swing low, because my reasoning for this trade was this 4-hour bullish divergence, right? We had this 4-hour bullish divergence, and price action should bounce from this bullish divergence and the confluence zone. So if this trade is going to work out, it shouldn't go back below this swing low, because then the bullish divergence wouldn't play out anymore, and my trade reasoning for entering this trade is no longer valid, right? So I would say you need to place your stop loss where it actually invalidates your trade idea. which makes sense, right? But for example, if you use RSI divergence, which I'm doing to entering a trade, you can use the RSI divergence as your stop loss, right? So if this RSI bullish divergence gets broken, so it's no longer valid, and price action goes below this and has no bullish divergence anymore, then you should place your stop loss under the bullish divergence, you know? Or if you enter based on market structure. So another example is, let me go find it. Let me actually go to Bitcoin. So let's make it, for example, easy. We have the weekly bullish divergence right here, right? And let's say you are long somewhere around this level. Let's say you bought Bitcoin spot around 59K, right? You have the bullish divergence, and just by looking at the market structure, you should place your stop loss below this low, right? Because if price action is going to bounce, it's going to bounce from this swing low. And if your entry is around there, you should place your stop loss right there, and then your target around 72, 74K. So you can use market structure as your trade, or you can use your confluence as invalidation. You know, you can use the confluence zones for the indicator. If you use that in your trading, you can use the RSI as your invalidation. If you use that in trading, it just depends on what confluence do you use, what reasons do you have to enter a trade, and the same reasons why you enter a trade should be the same reasons why you exit a trade. So if you enter based on a 4-hour bullish divergence like I did, place your stop loss under that 4-hour bullish divergence, if that makes sense. And if you enter based on market structure, like price action is downtrending at the moment, right? It's making lower highs and lower lows. And if you are, for example, you are short, like for example, if price action gets to this level, right? And if the trend continues, if the downtrend should continue, the downtrend, the price action should never come back above this high, right? Then you place your stop loss above this high. This is your entry, and then your target is lower. It just depends on the confluence you use to enter a trade. And that same confluence you use to enter a trade should be the same reasoning where you place your stop loss, basically. If that makes sense. At least that's how I view it. But genuinely, I like to use my stop loss. I like to place my hard stop loss below the swing low or above the swing high. That's pretty much it, to be honest. Like if you, for example, if you're long right here, right? You're long right here there. You just put your stop loss under the swing low. Right, so this is your entry, you're long, you put your stop loss below the swing low. That's it. It can be easy. It's not the perfect stop loss in my opinion, but it gets the job done in most of the cases, you know. But the more advanced usage of stop loss, I would say, is, for example, if you have RSI divergence, to use that as your invalidation. I think that's the more advanced and better way to do it and more efficient. But you can always just put your stop loss below the swing low or above the swing high in a trade. Alright, I hope that makes sense. Do you guys have any other questions? Man, my ETH long never got fucking filled. Like, not even close. Not even fucking close. But sometimes that's just how it works, I guess. It's so hard to open my long right now, I think. Like, no matter what coin you look at, there's always some resistance above, right? Like, you have the 12-hour supply right there on Ethereum. You have the Woodsbot confluence zone right there at the supply as well. Like, if you enter a long, it's just so shitty invalidation, you know? Like, imagine you go enter a long right there, your invalidation is below the swing low, and your target is this supply zone, you know? Yeah, like you have a bigger stop loss, you have a bigger invalidation than your target. Yeah, it's kind of hard to open any new positions. It's not worth to go long at the moment. It's also not worth to go short at the moment, because we have the weekly bullish fucking divergence on Bitcoin, right? Like, my rule in trading is that I never go against divergences, especially on the higher time frame. Like, I'm not trying to swing short anything right now, unless we go to 72, 74k, because we just have this weekly bullish divergence. You can make intraday scalps, you know, but like swing trading is hard at the moment, I think. You can't just enter a swing long, but you also can't enter a swing short. It kind of sucks. But yeah, I'm long on Solana at the moment. I think that's, hopefully it works out, but it should, in my opinion. So I'm long around, from this candle, so around 76.5. And I've actually not set my alerts, but I'm looking to potentially short Solana in this confluence zone. But it depends on, obviously, if we get bearish divergence in this confluence zone. If we don't get bearish divergence in this confluence zone, I'm just gonna let my long play out and not go short at all. Other than that, I think hype looks actually pretty good. Even though I didn't get filled on my hype position, I do think it looks pretty fucking well. You know, it's starting to consolidate. It's starting to form a pretty nice base here. And it's slowly making higher lows. You know, it's not really making higher highs yet, but it's starting to make higher lows, which is the more important part in forming a bottom. So I'm really interested in the hype at the moment. And you can see how the RSI is trying to flip this 50 mark, right? It's trying to flip it. We still have 3.5 hours to before the 4-hour closes, but I do think this is a strong bullish momentum setup. And hype can definitely surprise a lot of people, I think, next week. So I have my eyes on hype. I don't like to chase coins, but if the 4-hour closes above this RSI high, like if it does that, that means there's hidden bullish divergence. And if there's hidden bullish divergence, I think that's a pretty good signal to me. And then you can potentially long use the swing lows as your validation. I would personally play it with a manual stop loss because there's definitely a chance that it just sweeps it. So if I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna play it manually and wait for candle closures below this level. But yeah, I think hype is starting to look good. Other than that, I don't expect a lot of from Ethereum. I think Ethereum is just gonna have a harder time to get through this supply zone, you know. And Bitcoin looks better than Ethereum, but there's also potential for Bitcoin to just sweep this low, create an SFP, and go short again, you know. So it's a bit tricky at the moment. It's a bit tricky. But I would say the safest coins to trade at the moment is hype and actually Solana for me. I think these coins are easier to trade. You know, you have this obvious massive resistance. You have this obvious confluence zone. You can easily, yes, you have a clear target. You have a clear invalidation. You have a clear entry potential for shorts, you know, and you have a clear entry area for longs at the moment on Solana, right? You have the supply, you have the confluence zone, you have full 4-hour bullish divergence. So on Solana, I think it's easier to trade at the moment and hype. And Bitcoin is a bit trickier, and Ethereum is also a bit trickier to trade at the moment. So my advice would be try to trade Solana and hype. I mean, look at this price action on Solana, right? Like, this is beautiful price action. It's not the most bearish, bullish price action, but it's easy to read. It's easy to trade, you know. Oh, fuck. Apologies. I just bumped into my microphone. I got social engineered, scammed on Hyperliquid, accidentally gave my 2 of A to a scammer while trying to contact customer service on the Discord. 2k gone, to be honest. Oh, fuck. That sucks, Dr. Zombie. This happened to me. This happened to me as well in the past. I lost a bit more money back then, but I basically lost my whole trading capital because of a scam. So I know how it feels like. I would just go to the police, to be honest, if you can. Even though there's a low chance, but I would just go to the police. Maybe they can figure something out. Do you guys have any other questions? Kim or G2? Otherwise, I think it's Otherwise, I don't have a lot for today. I think you just need to be patient at the moment. Wait for price action to develop. I gave you guys some area of interest for shorts. So for Solana, definitely keep an eye on this confluence zone. There's a potential short here if there's bearish divergence. And for hype, there is definitely potential for a nasty bounce next week, in my opinion. If the 4-hour closes, so if the RSI closes above the swing high, like this is really important, you know. The RSI is more important than the price action itself on hype at the moment. So keep an eye on hype, keep an eye on Solana. I think these are my coins I like to trade at the moment. Yeah, you can definitely make some money next week. I think there's gonna be some volatility, not the craziest volatility. But yeah, I think that's it from my side. If you guys don't have anything else. Oh, by the way, I just recorded a RSI masterclass section, which is going to be uploaded to YouTube, and it's going to be in the bot education section under masterclass. So give it a look, give it a watch. I think it's not uploaded right. No. Our YouTube guy, I think he is enjoying his Sunday today, so maybe it gets uploaded to tomorrow, or today in the night. So either tonight or tomorrow, and the stream as well. Well, boys and girls, I think that's it for me today. It was a nice short stream. Thank you guys for coming. Next stream is gonna be on Tuesday. Yeah, on Tuesday. And next stream I want to talk about timeframes. Yeah, how to utilize timeframes better, etc. And go over the market as usual. I think Dell is streaming on Monday as well, and of course we have streams with Woods on Wednesday. He's gonna be a lot more here as well. He wants to do some educational content, so definitely join his streams as well. He's the GOAT after all. And yeah, thanks for having me, boys and girls. I haven't forgotten you, Kim Possible. Usually it's only boys in crypto, but there's always women as well. Yeah, so thank you guys for having me. Thank you guys for having me. My God, you are one of the lads now. If you guys have further questions, reach out to me in chat ideas. Just tag me. I'm always online and never I'm offline, so don't hesitate to just tag me. Yeah, see you guys. Bye bye. Much love.